Hi everyone, Brian from the channel Brian here, and today is a fun day, because I get to tell you about Chaos Walking. This movie is special. I'll never find a better time to plug my Letterboxd account because I have the top-rated review for Chaos Walking. With the totally comprehensible plot synopsis of a dystopian world where there are no women and all living creatures can hear each other's thoughts in a stream of images, words, and sounds called noise, I thought, yep, I understand everything about this. I got a similar obtuse nonsense vibe from Death Stranding, that Hideo Kojima game, which he dubbed the first Strand-Type game. A genre allocation that means nothing. So, I said logically, Chaos Walking will be the first Strand-Type film. And I was kind of right. You got a confusing science fiction future that makes no sense and isn't explained very well. You got disconnected colonies with mostly walking around and avoiding goo monsters. You got Mads Mikkelsen trying his best to understand what he is saying. Except in this one, he's dressed like this. Even the names are really close. There are way more similarities to Death Stranding than I was expecting. And I'm spoiling it, don't pretend like you care. Chaos Walking is an absolute mess. Lots of parts of this movie are just kind of ridiculous. The gimmick here is all the men have this thing called a noise, which is a literal fog that voices all their thoughts, and it never stops being funny. It is used for exposition, for awkward jokes, and ham-fisted character motifs. But it doesn't just project your thoughts. You can also shoot a snake at Nick Jonas if you're good at it. If you're wondering how a phenomenon that does nothing but voice your thoughts lets you do this, good. The whole film feels like a holdover from that Hunger Games era young adult adaptation craze. I am sick of that shit where everything's named like I'm reading a word-a-day calendar to make basic concepts seem more complex than they really are. The world of Chaos Walking puts up a front of depth, but more than almost any other franchise in the history of film, there's clearly no thought on the filmmaker's part about cohesive world building beyond the immediate things that we see. Chaos Walking has been delayed for years. Chasing the young adult trend makes no sense for a 2021 movie, but principal filming began in 2016. And having watched the film, my big question is, why the f*** did it take that long? A surprising number of writers have taken a stab at this script for a movie where nothing happens. Even Charlie Kaufman tried before saying, nah, f*** you. You think this is confusing? I'm off to make a movie where going to Dairy Queen means you really want to kill yourself. So many writers got their chance to leave their mark on this script, and yet I do not know anything about these characters. Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley have such a disconnected chemistry with each other, with the repetitive, silly things he thinks about her through his noise accentuating the shallowness of their relationship. Like his entire impression of her is that she has yellow hair and thinks she's pretty. This took 5 years to make. That's almost half a boyhood. The film is 110 minutes long. About 45 of those are Ridley and Holland walking, sandwiched between 20 to 30 minute exposition dumps. Every character only wants one thing, and they repeat what that is over and over every time you see them. There is no point in the film where you receive an adequate reward for having sank your time into this narrative, and all it amounts to is Mads Mikkelsen astral projecting clones and wrestling Holland for 30 seconds before getting pushed into a hole. So the whole movie is about Daisy Ridley trying to contact this ship full of space colonists. Cynthia Erivo says, this town can't let you contact the ship, but there's a second town. You have to get to this other town called Eden, and then you can reach the ship. But then, on their way to Eden, they coincidentally find a crashed ship, and Ridley's like, I can use the thing inside this ship to contact the other ship, when this crashed ship is from 60 years ago, and why does the thing on this crashed ship even work still, and why would it work with modern ships? I don't understand. Chaos Walking routinely sets up story arcs, characters, and places, only to never deliver on any of them because this is a Strand-Type film and there are no rules here. They start trying to say the I Am Legend thing where the goo alien people really aren't that bad, but humanity is the intruder. But there's only one scene where a goo guy is fighting Holland and then it runs away, and nothing else comes of that. I think they were going to resolve these things, but they ran out of time, they ran out of money, and Tom Holland was growing out of his baby face, so the entire third act of the film was scrapped. Which is why they don't make it to Eden, they don't find out what's happening with the Muck people, and Nick Jonas's character has no purpose. It reeks of a team that had been working on the same thing for so long they cut their losses, gave up, and went with what they had. And for that context, Chaos Walking's worth watching at least once. Especially because it started as a project where you just know everybody on board thought it was so clever. I usually hate movies where filmmakers are lazy and give up, but with Chaos Walking, the only reason they gave up is because this is Strand-Type filmmaking, and the movie beat them. It won. The only thing you'll get from Chaos Walking is that Daisy Ridley, even in the shittiest wig known to mankind, looks really good in overalls. 4 out of 10. Film of the year. Anyway, did you like this film more than me? Less than me? Well, if you care to, please tell me. And as always, if you like not only words, but the way I arrange and then say them, please consider liking this video and subscribing to me, Brian from the channel Brian. Thank you, and goodbye.